It's Tuesday, September 20th, and yesterday Queen Elizabeth II, after 70 years on the throne, was buried, and her funeral service lasted for 10 days. It gave the people of England and the people of the world time to mourn her, and they did, and they mourned her quietly and respectfully. Patrons of England and around the world stood on lines that was 3 or 4 miles long, and some people waited 20 hours to pay their respects, and that just simply meant walking past this casket. The service took place at the same abbey where 69 years ago the Queen was crowned, and where 75 years ago she was married to her husband, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and he died last year. She was obviously a very intelligent person. She understood the soft power of spectacle. Her coronation was, at her request, broadcast for the first time on television, which brought the splendor of the monarchy to millions around the world. And on Monday, all the eyes of the world are open again for her. And I'll tell you one thing that she did that was different from all other previous members of the British family, the royal family. She instituted something that she called the walkabout, where she would go out in public unannounced and meet and greet the general public. And this made her very, very popular in England. And she was popular around the world. She met with presidents and dictators and other members of other royal families throughout her life. And she was very quiet and dignified and never, ever really spoke out against any one of these people. So she was a calming influence on the world in many ways. And the world was a tumultuous place. When Elizabeth came to power, the British Crown had a brutal legacy in the former colony, and they had historic links to the slave trade. But her personality and her appeal and her sense of duty and diligent work ethic and the ability to appear neutral and yet remain personable allowed her to overcome the history of the British colonial empire. And there are changes again going on in the Commonwealth, as several countries are looking to break away from their ties to England. But it's not because of her, it's because of the shape of the world. And her appeal to her nation and the world is in her sense of duty, the innate understanding of what people need and what people are prepared to see. She avoided scandal for 70 years. Not an easy thing to do when you're out there in the public all the time. And she definitely was the most public of all the predecessors in the royal family. So we have to believe that this lineup of 2 miles long or 3 miles long to pay respect to the Queen is more than just some people doing their duty. This is a true love of a valiant figure in the history of the world, because she was a well-known worldwide figure. She traveled to many nations, and many nations came to England and visited with her. So it's a loss. It's a great loss for the world that Elizabeth is gone. And who knows how well King Charles, her son, is going to do. She left behind large shoes to fill for such a small woman. But I wish him well. I wish him well, and I hope that he's prepared. And there is strife among the royal family. We know that. I still don't know where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stand with the family. They were not invited to some event that was taking place simply because they weren't working members of the family. I guess that's okay if you have an event and you have some parameters. But I shouldn't get into that. That's familial problems, and I don't think they belong in the middle of this conversation. So if we look at Queen Elizabeth's life, we must recognize that she wasn't just a 21st century monarch. She was something more than that. She set an example to the rest of the world's monarchies of what a human being is supposed to act. Even though she had great responsibilities, she recognized that she had to be a visible entity, that she had to go out in public and meet the people and show them the proper attitude for living. And I am sure that many, many who met her in these walkabouts will remember that. They will remember that she was first and foremost a human being and not just a queen, because she did away with the solitary notions of royalty. She established a presence in England that had not been seen before and may never be seen again there. So that is a beautiful memory. That is something that people can take into their hearts. A sovereign who was a decent human being. And she had many charities. This is not that she did the things just for England. She did things for many, many causes. And so we must say goodbye to a great lady. And their nation has to rise up and continue her goals. Let's call them goals. Her leadership goals. And as I said, Charles has big shoes to fill now. So I'll leave you with those thoughts. The thoughts of a 3-mile-long parade of people paying their last respects to a woman who truly deserved them. Not a dictator, a human being. I'll leave you with that this morning. Have a great day.